Hey guys, today we're going to learn 3 top games to build your dog's recall. If your dog is really bad or really struggles with coming when called, these are the games you're going to want to pay attention to. So let's get into the first game. This first game is called the collar grab game. What you will need is some food and your dog with a collar on. You can do this without the collar. You would just be grabbing the scruff. However, I'm going to show you with the collar, as the game is properly named, the collar grab game. So I'm going to have my dog sitting in front of me. And then we are going to do this in 3 separate steps. So since this is cold, I'm not going to put it on the ground or anything. I'll just hold it in my hand. However, what you are going to do is, like I said, it needs to be 3 separate steps. So I'm going to grab the collar. I'm going to mark it with a yes. I'm going to release the collar, reach for the treat, and deliver to my dog's mouth. The reason this needs to be 3 separate steps is we need our dog to understand that the collar grab is what is indicating the food is coming. Yes. If I were to have the collar say yes and deliver the food all at the same time, the only thing the dog is going to pair or match or identify is the fact that they are getting food. They're not going to pay attention to anything else. Dogs are visual learners. They are not auditory learners. So us saying anything will override everything else. So again, it's very simple. Grab, yes, reach, treat. And you want to make sure, yes, you're grabbing all over the dog's collar. Yes. 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 And that you're even using both hands. Yes. 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 I really like this game because if I am just feeling down, if I'm tired, if I'm sick, anything like that, I can lay on the couch and I can do easy collar grabs. Yes. It's not something that's going to take a long time. 5 treats a day, maybe twice a day, 3 times a day if you're feeling fancy. But I would say only 5 treats a day minimum. And then you will have a dog who is enjoying their collar being grabbed. And this is our first step to our recall. Our next game is called the orientation game. This is going to teach your dog that when we say our dog's name, it means to turn around and look at us. This is our next step in our recall. So again, all you'll need is food. This is a really great game, again, to if you're really tired, if you don't have a lot of energy, maybe you're even sick, and you don't have energy to be able to run around and play with your dog. Your dog does all of the work. Now, I do want to mention that when we play this game, we are not asking our dogs to come all the way to us. The goal is that they turn around and look at us. So effectively, our dogs will be running parallel to us, but never coming to us. So how we play is I'm going to throw one piece of food out. The second he picks up the piece of food, I'm going to call his name. When he turns around and looks at me, I'm going to throw the next piece of food out. And then we just repeat the whole game. As you can see, Atlas is very excited. He really loves this game. So this is going to go fast, so I'll play and then I'll talk some more. Atlas. Yes. Atlas. Atlas. Good boy. So with the first throw, I said his name too soon. I said his name before he picked up the piece of food. I didn't nag at him. I just simply waited him out. And once he picked up the piece of food, finally found it, got it, ate it, he turned around and looked at me no matter what. He was looking for that next piece of food. And so it still works. We're still building the connections in his brain that turning around to look at me is a really great deal. So I'm going to show this again. Atlas. 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 Good boy. It can be a complex game, but it's also really easy once you get the mechanics. The goal is you throw a piece of food out, they pick it up, you call their name, you throw the next piece of food out, and repeat. It's really fast, really fun. So I always will have, my bowl with me, but I will keep food in my hand because that's the way it makes it easier to grab and throw. Sorry, buddy. Atlas, yes. Atlas, yes. Atlas, yes. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to comment below. I'm here for you. You got this. Now we're on to the third and final game to build. The final game we're going to play is where we put all of our pieces together. It's helpful to have a boundary, but if you have a second person who can restrain on their chest or hold them back a little bit, that will also work and help really well. So since Apollo has a lot of value for his boundary, that's what I'm going to use. All we're going to do is practice putting all of the pieces together. So at first, we have our collar grab. Then we also have our orientation game or our name. So I'm going to use his name for him to come to me, and then I'm going to give a collar grab. So Apollo, yes. He's not wearing his collar right now, so I am just grabbing his scruff. Then I'm going to yes, treat for coming back. And then if your dog has the skills built up, you can send back to their boundary. Apollo, climb. Yes. And I will also reward that. Apollo. Yes. Another thing you can start to build is a hand signal for a recall. Apollo, climb. Whoops. Go to your climb. I know. That's hard. Good boy. So my hand signal is that I am just going to put my hand down. So yes, as you can see, he knows paw as well. However, I'm just going to ignore the paw, and I'm going to only mark and treat the collar grab or the scruff grab. So again, climb. You can also start to build this even slower by Apollo. Yes. Me saying his name and then presenting my hand, that will also lead to a verbal cue, thank you, to grab the collar. Eventually, you'll have a dog who, when you present your hand, they will either give you a chin rest, a paw, or a lot of times they will start to give you their neck so that you can grab their collar. Now, with this game, you can really, really vary it. Apollo, go to your climb. So right now I'm at a very short distance. I would suggest you start at a very short distance from your dog. But you can grow it to 10, 15, 20 plus feet away where you are recalling your dog. This will start to kind of build some off-leash freedom. You could also practice, if you're just out in the yard doing yard work or anything, you can practice your recalls then. So you recall, collar grab, yes, treat, and then free them and continue on about your gardening, yard work, whatever you're doing outside. You can also do this inside the house while you're doing housework or cooking or whatever you're doing. You can really, really vary this. I like to start on the boundary because, number one, you can start to send to the boundary, and then that helps with jumping on guests or unexpected things happening. But also it's a really controlled situation, and so you can have a lot more control of your dog versus if, say, you're out doing yard work and you say their name and they just completely blow you off. So this is a really, really good place to start. Again, my dog is on their boundary. I'm going to say their name, give a collar grab, yes, and treat. Apollo. Yes. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I hope you have a great time and you can start building a really, really good recall with your dog. Thank you for joining me on today's video of building your dog's recall. These games are one of my top favorite games to play, and I hope you enjoy them too. If you want to play even more games with your dog, down in the description below, I have links to the Sexier Than a Squirrel challenge, where you get 25 games over 25 days, extreme amounts of fun. I love this program. It is probably the best program anyone could purchase. In addition to that, I also have a link down below for a Games Club subscription where you get personalized training strategies and training programs by me, and you get full support by me as well. If you guys have any questions below, feel free to message me on Facebook, which is also linked down below. And I hope you guys have a great day. Go to your climb.